Huge iPads scrapped. Magsafe's own ecosystem. Is Dynamic Island doomed? M2 Ultra gains. MicroLED iPhones. The best Mac ever. Mac Studio SD card scandals. Unified Magsafe. Apple Watch Ultra 2. Rainbow MacBook Pros and HomePod prospects. Can it make a dent in the universe? I'm Mike Kev, and I simplify Apple so that everything just works for you. So smash the subscribe button and let's get into your questions. Blkgreninja asks, iCave answers, did you hear about the 14-inch and 16-inch iPads being scrapped? Is it true? What are your thoughts? I'm going to be 100% honest. I didn't think they were ever a thing. I know we've talked about it on the show. There have been rumours about it. There has been some sort of talk about it through the display pipeline, but it's never seemed like a thing that Apple would do. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Now, that being said, I don't think that Apple is not, playing around with different sizes of iPads. I'm sure they have development of stuff up to like 20 inches. I think we've heard about flexible 20-something inch displays that are then going to be turned into notebooks / iPad things. What are they going to do with it? I don't know. What operating system is it going to have? I don't know. It just doesn't seem like a thing that anyone's asking for. Maybe just you. Blkgreninja asks, iCave answers, do you charge your iPhone via cable or MagSafe, and what are your favourite MagSafe accessories? So I am a big fan of MagSafe. I've got my MagSafe charger down here. I used for a long time MagSafe mount in my car. I've got a MagSafe mount on my shelf over here where I can just throw my iPhone up when it's just to get it out of the way. That doesn't even charge it, but it just kind of holds it in place. We've got a MagSafe little tripod down here, which this comes from STM Goods, I think it's called. STM Goods. And it's really nice and really good for doing little FaceTime calls and stuff. I've also got like ESR's version of these things, and I use it to charge my AirPods and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I think MagSafe is like the one. There's also a MagSafe wallet knocking around here somewhere, not something that I use all the time. I've got MagSafe lights that will go onto the back. Again from STM Goods, a little MagSafe bottle opener, just in case you really need that beer when you're using your phone. Blkgreninja asks, iCave answers, will the Dynamic Island stay on the 16 Pro Max as well, or will it get smaller because Apple is going to be switching to a camera hole only? How long before we get no cutouts in the screen anymore? Now, we've been hearing for years that Apple is going to move away from having holes in the display and getting rid of it completely, so it becomes a fully display-only panel. I don't think the iPhone 16 is going to have no cutout for the Face ID. It just doesn't make any sense. Everything that has happened so far where they've gone under the display with these things, the pictures look absolutely terrible. And if you want to actually sort of see what is going on with people's face, in a 3D manner, you're going to need to be able to see what's going on. It doesn't make any sense that they're going to take that away. I don't think they will. In terms of getting rid of the camera hole as well, again, I just don't think they will. I think by the time we're kind of stopping using phones, people aren't going to be bothered by having a little cutout in there so that you can get a nice selfie. Marcin Kowalczyk asks, iCave answers, with the release of the M2 Max chips, a lot of reviews downplay the usability of the M1 Studio constantly. How would you predict the gains between the M1 Ultra and the hopefully coming M2 Ultra, taking into account what we've seen so far with M2 Max? Now, if M2 Ultra actually happens, and there is a question mark over this at the moment because it looks like from what Mark Gurman has put out yesterday at the time you're watching this, but today at the time that I'm filming it, maybe the Mac Studio isn't going to get any updates anytime soon. I would have thought just chuck the M2 Ultra into it early in the year, unless they're going to do M2 as a Pro, but then when the M3 Ultra comes out and it goes in the Studio, then the Pro's going to look... It doesn't make any sense to me. They need to be putting multiple M2 Ultras in the Pro, and they need to put one M2 Ultra in the Studio and make the Pro version the one that you can expand in terms of other cards that go into it, whether that's storage or connectivity or, other stuff that they can put in there, whether there's some sort of accelerator cards they can use or I/O for music. That's got to be the difference with the Mac Pro. And then the Ultra just should be good. However, if the Ultra does come, based on the way that the M2 Max is scaling from the M2 Pro, I think it's actually going to be almost twice as good. Hopefully they've dealt with the issues that they had. As it's been, the M1 Ultra has been about 30 to 40% faster than the Max, which is weird because it's a double thing. I would personally say that they need to work out those bottlenecks. We have got more throughput with the memory stuff. Makes sense. James Apple asks, will Apple do micro-LED ever make it to the iPhone like the Apple Watch Ultra? This is a difficult one, but I assume so. I don't see why they would put it in one device and not another, but then they've been using OLED for the watches and mini LED for the other stuff and OLED for the iPhones. So I think we're going to probably see micro LED come to the iPhone and probably come to the Macs as well in fairly short order. Probably over the next 5 years we'll get it in everything, but they're going to start with the watch, and if they actually get it to work in there, brilliant, because at the moment everyone else is having to put it in huge panels because they can't miniaturize it. And Apple seems to be the only ones that are going, no, we're going to put it in the smallest screen we make, and you guys are going to have to deal with that. Apple seems to be really pushing on their own designs and their own fab, not like them making it, but contract production on displays for their devices going forward, which is bold. I'm going to say it's bold. So far, they've really relied on Samsung for OLED and LG for pretty much everything else. BOE making a little bit of a move in there. I wonder if BOE is going to kind of contract out all of their stuff to Apple, and that's the way that life goes from then on. Let me know in the comments what you think. Are we going to get micro-LED iPhones? I think we probably will. Evan Rogers asks, ICAV answers, in the history of Apple, what is your favourite computer they've ever sold? It's actually sitting on my desk. And it's not the one that I use day to day. In terms of like favourite computers, I think we have to be talking about something that's more iconic, more of an icon of computing, and it's here. This is my baby. This is one of my favourite computers that's ever been made. Look how elegant it is. The Mac G4 Cube. And it was nice and easy to service. Greg West asks, ICAV answers, I heard somebody complaining on a podcast about the quality of the SD card reader on the Mac Studio, that it's very tight to the point that it can damage the card's casing. Have you heard anything about this? I'll be honest, this is absolutely the first time I'm hearing anything about this, and it surprises me. However, thinking about it now, it doesn't. You have to remember the way that Apple works is that they are very, very tight on tolerances. Everything that they make is basically like a piece of jewellery. That's how they described the iPhone 4 when it first came out, and the iPhone 5. The fit and finish of these phones is like nothing that has ever been out there in the past, and I still think that Apple's stuff is so well made that it's in its own league. And the problem with that is that SD cards are not one of those things that are made to exacting precisions. So my guess is that this Mac Studio and Apple's, SD card slots are probably made to what an SD card is supposed to be and not what SD cards actually are in the real world. So I think there's third-party SD cards out there that are not kind of maybe fully licensed, that are a little bit bigger than they're supposed to be, and that is probably where the issue is. Apple's hole is exactly the right size, but your SD card is too big. Such a Steve Jobs answer. You're SD carding it wrong. Alan B Unboxings and News asks, ICAV answers, do you think that Apple should bring Magsafe 3 to every Apple product? Here's the problem, Alan. They can't. Europe has basically mandated that everything that charges via a cable has to be chargeable via USB-C. So what's the point in having an iPhone that's got MagSafe 3rd generation, which is designed for Macs, it's not designed for iPhones. It's a bigger connector than the Lightning port, it's a bigger connector even than USB-C, which is bigger than Lightning, so it makes absolutely zero sense to put that onto iPhones. Now, I have heard the argument that it would be a really good connector to put onto an iPad, because they have got a lot of space and they already use magnetic connections for things like the Magic Keyboards, but they're all over the place. They don't power in, they power out from the iPads, although they may be able to go both ways on the Pros if you plug something into the USB ports on the keyboards. Don't at me. But I just don't think that that's the way forwards. We have MagSafe on iPhones, it's the lovely puck design, it works, and it's far more convenient than trying to align something smaller like that onto the bottom. So, no, MagSafe is good as it is on the phones. Let's just roll that out to iPads, Apple mice, keyboards. Magic Keyboards, I think, could benefit from this, and maybe you even make a space in the bottom so that it can sit under there while you're using it. Maybe you could even do the same for the mouse, so that rather than having you have it sit it on top of it, maybe it could click into the bottom of it, into the base of the mouse, and works. I don't know. I'm not an engineer, I dropped out of university. Blkgreninja asks, iCave answers, what should we expect from the Apple Watch Ultra 2 and when? There are rumours of a bigger screen by making the bezels thinner, but did you hear anything else? I didn't hear anything else other than 2024 is apparently when it's going to be happening. That's actually coming from Mark Gurman, I think. I haven't seen anything from Ross Young, and he was the one that revealed to us that we were going to be getting 50.5 millimeters diagonally on the display for the current Ultra. I feel like this might be the first one where we get the micro LED displays. That's a possibility. Beyond that, I really don't know. What else do you want to put in there? Blood glucose monitors? Maybe. That's something that could go in there, especially for people that are doing extreme long endurance sports. And it would make sense because that sensor is probably going to be more expensive than what we have in the Apple Watch right now. So maybe you put it in the Ultra first. Let me know your thoughts. Blkgreninja asks, iCave answers, when will Apple add any new colours to the M3 Pro and Max MacBook Pros? If so, what colour do you think they will add? I think Apple should always add an iPhone Pro colour to the MacBook Pros too. For example, the 14th Max added a deep purple. They should have added a deep purple MacBook Pro this year. They clearly pass for Pro colours if Apple's using them on the phones. I'm bored of silver and space grey. You and me both, my friend, we both love midnight, but here's the problem. The iPhone Pros right now have glossy bezels, so those colours don't really translate to aluminium very well, because we're not talking about aluminium, we're talking about stainless steel. Completely different finish, completely different materials, so even if they did the same colours, it wouldn't transfer across. Now, I would love to see a matte black MacBook Pro. I think that would be epic. I don't think midnight, I think matte black, like full-on matte black, like the old MacBooks used to be back in 2007. That's the colour that I want. Which colours do I think Apple will release the next MacBook Pros in? Silver and space grey. Team Kinetics asks, iCave answers, new HomePod, do you think it will sell poorly like the old one, or have Apple fixed the right things? It seems stubbornly Apple to not have cable input, Bluetooth connectivity, or allow users to change the default music surface. Do we know if it's possible for it to be set up to be your TV speakers and surround sound system, or is that only possible for AirPlay content or Apple TV content? Right, so the new HomePod's sales, good. We know this because they are out of stock until into March now, so you can't buy one online and get it delivered before March. That's basically what shows you that they're selling well. The previous version of the HomePod sold okay immediately, then dropped off massively, and then everyone's been asking why they cancelled it. I don't think they cancelled it. I think they ran out of stock because everything that has been sold was from the initial production run. They sold fairly poorly throughout their life. They were too expensive. People didn't understand that they were getting a really good speaker that happened to have a voice assistant as opposed to a voice assistant with a speaker built in. Apple has been very Apple, and I don't see that many people that don't use Apple stuff all the time buying HomePods anyway. Can you set them up as your main TV speakers outside of Apple TV? No. As far as I'm aware, no, you can't. Can you connect to it over regular Bluetooth? Also no, but you can use it for Apple TV content as a stereo pair in front of your TV, and by all accounts, they're pretty epic. I've seen a couple of people say that they're not as good as the previous version. I've also seen other people say they sound incredible. Maybe those people didn't have the first one. Maybe some people just don't really know what they're listening to. So it's very difficult to know. I will try my very best to get down to the Apple Store and have a listen to them in the coming week and let you know my own thoughts. But I bet Apple haven't got an old one for me to compare it to. I've only ever had a HomePod Mini. What? Evan Rogers asks, iCave answers, since the iPhone 15 is getting a new display for Dynamic Island, do you think it will get ProMotion, or is Apple saving that for the more expensive models? I'm going to be honest with you, I don't think we'll ever see ProMotion on the base level iPhone. Doesn't need it. Nobody cares. It's not a big deal. This is a thing that the tech news media, the tech industrial complex, if you like, cares about, and people talk about on YouTube, and generally normal people don't care or know what it is or can notice it. I, myself, have the iPhone 14, had it next to the iPhone 12 Pro Max. I could not tell the difference. I couldn't see 120 Hertz. It doesn't make a difference for normal people. I think the high refresh rate stuff makes a difference if you are playing high-end games on a big old monitor and you need to get like those sniper kills when you're playing like first-person shooters. It makes a little difference. Not a lot. But I think on a phone, does it look a little bit smoother? Oh, maybe. I can't see it. Save you money, Apple. Put it into stuff that people care about, like when the iPhone XR came out, it had less than a 720p display, and the general public lapped it up because it looked really nice. Regardless of what purchase you have your eye on next, basics like a new MacBook, a HomePod, or something more opulent like food, we all know that prices are rising. That's why I've partnered with Mint Mobile for this video to help save you money, thanks to that guy from those movies, Ryan Reynolds, because he owns it.
Hey there, it's Ryan Reynolds, owner of Mint Mobile. Enticing, right?
You can switch to Mint Mobile today and get premium wireless for as low as $15 a month without sacrificing your coverage, your speed, or your data, because they're built on America's largest 5G network, keeping costs low by selling directly online without retail stores or salespeople. They just get me. Switching is super easy, and with a digital eSIM, and all of the iPhones since the XS have supported eSIMs, you can sign up and activate right now on your phone from the comfort of your home. No standing around, and you can keep your current device and phone number. And if you need a physical SIM, Mint Mobile will ship you one free of charge. All Mint Mobile plans include unlimited nationwide talk and text, plus lightning fast 5G and free mobile hotspot. Mint Mobile will show you how much data you use each month and recommend the right plan to save you money, or check out their modern family plan. Super affordable and starting at just 2 lines. Use my link, mintmobile.com/iCaveDave in the description, and you'll get premium wireless starting at just $15 a month. Stop paying more than you need to on your wireless bill and start saving with my partner, Ryan Reynolds. Mint Mobile. Thanks to Mint Mobile for supporting the show. So that's it for this show, guys. We are going to do a live stream on Friday. Set your calendars. We're going to do it Friday night. Come and hang out. We're going to be talking. I will put the thing up in the sky, wherever it goes, up one of these sides. And you should click it and set your reminder, because I'd love to have you guys hanging out with me. If you've got a question for a show like this, hashtag iCaveAnswers down in the comments section. Thank you to all the lovely Patreons, and we'll see you probably in the next one. Yeah, see you there.